The Global Hog Industry Virtual Conference. Hello, everyone. I'm farm broadcaster Max Armstrong with another interesting topic, extremely interesting, pigs saving lives. This conference session brought to you by National Hog Farmer. Don't forget to visit our event lobby and check out the extensive collection of resources and information provided by our event sponsors. And let them know, too, how much you appreciate their participation in this first ever virtual conference. From Premier BioSource, joining us here is John Hook. John, welcome.
Good to be here, Max. Thank you for the opportunity.
I remember reporting years ago about how we were utilizing pigs in the improvement of animal health. I think the subject at the time was the use of heart valves, improving the placing a heart valve.
Sure.
In fact, my colleague Orion Samuelson, I think, has been enhanced in that way, and I can think of other people too.
Sure.
Give us some of the history here to bring us to where we are today.
Yeah. Pigs in biomedical have been around for a period of time, but what's happened in the most recent history is the desire for xenotransplantation. And xenotransplantation is the concept of growing human organs in pigs. There's a number of barriers to that today that through gene editing are quickly becoming are able to be quickly overcome. And so the day where we may be able to grow a heart or a liver or something in a pig that could be transplantable to a human is vastly approaching.
What makes the pig work so well in terms of this application?
The pig genetically is very similar to humans, and the ability to do some gene editing to make receptor sites for human organ growth or human tissue growth are vastly becoming available. And so by utilizing a pig model, you can get a lot closer to a human both in research and in the xenotransplant area.
Premier BioSource has constructed a facility specifically for the production of these pigs.
Yeah, Premier BioSource is a company that's been around for 20-some years, and we have one facility in Southern California. And the need for pigs in the Midwest and in the East Coast has grown over the years, and so Premier has decided to put some reproduction facilities in the Midwest, in Indiana, Northwest Indiana, and to service the eastern half of the United States. Pigs are used extensively for heart, cardiac, stents research, pharma research in humans, and of course the xenotransplant research. And so it's becoming the preferred model over some of the socially unacceptable models of primates and dogs and things like that. And it provides a much closer model to a human versus a mouse or a rabbit or a rat. So.
What is unique about this facility? Is there anything different than a facility used for commercial pork production?
Yeah, this is a very unique facility, and if I'd refer to a rendering of this facility there on the slide, and this facility is what we call a barrier facility. It has a HEPA filtration system, much like a hospital. The interior of the facility feels like a hospital. It's positive pressure, it's air conditioned, and the pigs will be cesarean derived and will never take a breath of air outside of the bubble, so to speak. And it's located in an area that's not very pig dense for the protection of disease and that sort of thing. And so you will see no fans on the facility. All the air comes in through the air handling system and is run through a series of plenums and vents that positive pressure the air into the facility and then exhaust it through the air handler. And so it's very different than a typical commercial swine production facility, and all for the purpose of creating a barrier to prevent any sort of disease to come in.
It raises a bunch of questions. Obviously, you have to have a very specialized, trained team in place.
Yes, yeah, we are building our team from scratch, so to speak, and at the moment, and it's a very interesting place to work because it's very much has the feel of a hospital. We wear smocks, we wear Crocs, we have a lot of time spent weighing pigs and understanding growth curves and meeting the needs of researchers by weight and by specific breed type. And so it's very different from a commercial facility. And the things that are important in commercial production are not necessarily the things we worry about in biomedical production.
Feed. Is the feed different? And how do you make sure that something doesn't come in that you don't want coming in with the feed?
Sure. We are sourcing feed from feed mills that do not make pig feed. There are some particular companies that are specific for laboratory animals.
Really?
And the feed is irradiated and disinfected, if you will. And so on our phase 4, we will end up putting a feed mill on site to produce feed in a biosecure fashion to keep from having to have the risk of bringing ingredients or feed from outside sources.
What about the genetics in these pigs? Are there these special pigs, particular breeds?
Yes, there's 50% of this farm will be a pretty traditional farm pig, what we call farm pigs in this business, and the other half are what they call a Yucatan mini pig. And a mini pig is used in human research because at 120 pounds, it has symmetrically similar organ sizes as humans. And that pig can be held at that weight for many, many years. One of the things that we are pursuing now, Max, is the field of genetically modified animals for human diseases. And so there are a number of companies in the United States and vastly growing in the number of companies entering into the space. With some of the CRISPR technology and gene editing technology, you can produce a pig model that mimics a human disease, whether it's diabetes, heart disease, those sorts of things are mimicked through gene editing in pigs. And so a researcher can make a lot of progress in human disease mitigation by having a model that's very similar to a human, that expresses the disease in a way that he can do his trials, but yet be ready to run it in a human when there's a level of safety there that allows that to be worked out through a pig. The pig is an amazing animal, Max. Not only does it provide us with food and some clothing and things like that, but now it's going into the area of saving lives, and that's really interesting.
That is remarkable. To help me visualize, just to clarify for me, John, will the pig leave the facility at any time in some instances, or will the research be done on the premises?
No, the pig will leave the facility. We are not doing any research in this facility.
And that has to require care too, doesn't it?
Yes.
Extreme care in transport.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's different. Pigs can be transported at birth, or up to 150 pounds, and most transport takes place in small vans, dog kennels. Pigs are put in the dog kennel and taken to whatever research institution.
With great care, because these are high-value pigs.
Yep, the trucks are sealed, filtered, air-conditioned, heated. We even have a few, we call them our rolling nurseries. They're self-contained units with water, air, feed, that if we have to go on a long journey, it's like having a pig barn on wheels. So
maybe I can go along and do a story sometime. I was invited many years ago to accompany a plane load of hogs to China, which I respectfully declined.
Yes.
But this is so intriguing, so interesting, and when you look at the possibility of improving life, the life of man, it's remarkable to think of the potential.
Yeah, it's a huge and opportunistic field from the standpoint of when you think of the impact on human lives. The waiting list for transplants is large, and the thought that that problem could be solved through the use of a pig is pretty extraordinary.
John, thanks for sharing the story with us. We sure appreciate the visit.
Yep, thank you for having me, Max.
Our Global Hog Industry Virtual Conference brought to you by National Hog Farmer. Please don't forget to visit the event lobby. Check out the extensive collection of resources and information provided by our event sponsors. I'm farm broadcaster Max Armstrong. Thanks for being with us.